There are houses you live in, and then there are houses that live in you. I hadn't stepped onto Willow Creek Road in 12 years. Not since the night we left in a hurry. Not since the night we decided, without saying it out loud, that we would never come back. But death has a way of reopening doors grief once sealed shut. When the lawyer called to say that our mother had passed, there was only one thing left in her name, the house. My name is Mara Ellison. I am the oldest of three. Daniel is the middle child. Quiet, observant, always watching more than he speaks. And Lila was the youngest, the sensitive one. The one who used to say the house didn't like storms. We laughed at her. We were children. We didn't know what she meant. The driveway was longer than I remembered. Trees leaned inward like they were trying to listen. Daniel parked the car but didn't turn off the engine immediately. None of us moved. The house stood ahead of us, 2 stories. White paint peeling, front porch sagging slightly to the left, and the upstairs window, the one that used to be mine. Just slightly. There was no wind. Probably rats, Daniel muttered, but he didn't sound convinced. The driveway was longer than I remembered. Overgrown, the trees leaned inward like they were trying to listen. Daniel parked the car but didn't turn off the engine immediately. None of us moved. The house stood ahead of us. To be mine. The curtain shifted. Just slightly. There was no wind. Probably rats, Daniel muttered. But he didn't. The car engine turns off. Silence grows thicker. When I stepped out, the air felt different. Heavier. Like stepping into a room where someone had just stopped talking about you. The front door was unlocked. We had the key. And it didn't matter. It wasn't locked. The smell hit first. Dust. Old wood. And something faintly metallic. Like overheated wiring. Or old pennies. The lights were on. Every single one. We froze. Did you ask the realtor to check the place? Lila whispered. No, I said. The electricity should have been cut years ago. But the hallway light buzzed softly above us. Alive. Been cut years ago. But the hallway light buzzed softly above us. Alive. But also deeper. Like the hallway stretched longer than it used to. Our childhood photos were still on the wall. Same frames. Same crooked angle. Only now, there were more. Photos I didn't remember taking. In one of them, we were sitting in the living room. All 3 of us, older, adult, like last week. I stepped closer. My stomach tightened. The clothes were the same ones we wore yesterday when we met at the hospital. But we were sitting here. On the couch, smiling. That's not possible, Daniel said quietly. And then, a whistle, soft, shrill, the kettle. We turned slowly toward the kitchen. Steam drifted upward from the stove. The kettle trembled gently, boiling. Lila stepped backward. No, no. Daniel rushed forward and turned off the burner. The metal beneath the kettle glowed faint red, hot, recently used. There's someone here, he said. We searched every room, bathroom, basement, empty. No footprints in the dust. No broken windows, nothing disturbed.
Except
Everything felt recently touched. Floorboard creaks above. We all heard it, a slow step upstairs, not loud, but deliberate, one, then another. We stared at each other. Daniel grabbed the old fireplace poker. We moved together up the staircase. Each step groaned beneath our weight. Halfway up, the temperature dropped. My breath fogged. At the top, the hallway light flickered. Then it steadied. My old bedroom door was slightly open. I hadn't left it like that, I was certain. Daniel pushed the door wider. The room looked untouched, the wallpaper peeling in the same corner. The crack in the ceiling shaped like a crooked smile. And on the bed, a small wooden box. None of us spoke. We walked toward it slowly. It wasn't dusty. It looked placed, recently. On top was a label, written in it was in my mother's handwriting. Dark ink, steady hand, it read. Lila's breathing quickened. Ready to know what? Daniel lifted the lid carefully. Inside, a V cross tape. Silence swallowed the room. That's not funny, Daniel said. But no one was laughing. We didn't own a VHS player anymore, but something told me the house did. The house kept everything. The basement door creaked when we opened it. Darkness below. Daniel flipped the switch. The light worked. Of course it did. At the bottom of the stairs, beneath old blankets and boxes, was our old television. And beside it, the VCR. Plugged in. Red standby light glowing. My hands began to shake. Mom must have kept it, I whispered. But I couldn't remember her ever coming down here in the last 10 years. She had arthritis. The stairs were steep. We all stood close. The screen flickered. Static. Then the living room, our living room. The same furniture, the same crooked lamp. The angle was wrong, though. High, from the upper corner near the ceiling, like a surveillance camera. The timestamp blinked in the corner. The year we left, the footage showed 3 children, us, sitting on the floor, playing a board game, laughing. I felt my throat close. Almost. A hammer shifted slightly, just a fraction. As if adjusting, the children froze toward the camera, but not confused, not scared, smiling. And then, one of us waved, slowly, directly at it. No one spoke for a long time. That wasn't there, Daniel said finally. We didn't have a camera. No, Lila whispered. Her voice was small. There was always something in the corner. I turned slowly. Toward the upper corner of the basement ceiling, where two walls met, the light flickered, just once, and for the briefest second I saw something darker than shadow. Pressing inward, like it had been leaning there, watching. The TV turned to static on its own. The red standby light blinked. And from somewhere above us, a soft knock echoed through the house. 3 times, slow, deliberate. We were not alone. And we never had been. That night, we decided to sleep in the house. Together, just to prove to ourselves that fear was memory, not reality. We dragged mattresses into the living room, kept every light on. Daniel locked every door, double-checked every window. At 2:13 a.m., the lights went out, all at once. Darkness swallowed the room. Not gradual, not flickering. Isla's gasped. Daniel fumbled for his phone flashlight. The beam cut through the dark and stopped on the staircase. There were small, wet footprints leading down. From upstairs, to us, one by one, slow. Watching. The voice that followed was barely more than breath, but all 3 of us heard it clear, close, childlike, soft. You came back. And that is the end of episode 1. See you on the next episode next week.